Good afternoon. It is a rainy day here in Saxtons River, Vermont, which is typical for this summer. And Charles and I have come to visit our friends at their lovely alternative home. We can't wait to show it to you.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Anne, and we bought St. Edmund of Canterbury Church. It's deconsecrated Catholic church in Saxtons River. And it opened in 1952, and there are 52 colored glass windows to go with the 1952. But it sounded like it quit serving as a church around 2005. And then there was a very much loved by the community secondhand store in the basement called Worn Again. And we have met the woman who ran Worn Again for 15 years. And most people that we run into, a few will say, oh, my family went to church there. But for the most part, it was, did you ever see the store? The store was fabulous.
I still have clothes in that store.
Yeah.
This is the front of the church is going to be an office.
It's going to be. It's the most
It's,
what it is
yeah,
going to be.
Yeah, it's the most, yeah, it's developed. And so this is a place where eventually we'll be able to shut the doors up there. We're going to have a little Juliet balcony, I guess, or Romeo and Juliet balcony. And so we'll be able to close this all off to control the temperature and the airflow and that sort of thing. And that'll help break the building into zones a little bit. So if we go this way, you can have a glimpse of the work closet. Oh, and none of this was here. It was just one big open room with a hall down the middle. These two walls are going to come out, and this will be a porch. And so, I don't know what to say about that, but it's going to be fun. All right, when you come in here, you're in the living room area. You can see the kitchen, little dining, all open concept. Behind you, there's an antique cook stove that I'm going to take this and vent it out the wall so that it can actually be used to help with our warming in the winter. The idea about the heat, especially, and cooling eventually, but the heat especially has got to be sort of a overlapping redundant systems kind of a thing, so no one thing has to be the total deal. I'm hoping I have an engineer friend, a couple of them, who are going to help me do some solar later on, and we'll get that and wood and a little bit of electric baseboard heating and
So tell her about the kitchen countertops and the stairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Talking before about the pews, the counters, the kitchen counters, and the cabinets have all been made out of pew parts. The stairs going up to the loft, those also are repurposed out of the wood that was here when we came in.
Jeff was determined we were moving to Vermont. Didn't matter where, we were going to Vermont. And once COVID had started, we kept bidding on houses, losing houses, bidding on houses, losing houses. And so one night he was downstairs. We were living in our office building in Asheville, North Carolina. And I heard him say, uh-oh. And I said, what does that mean? And he was like, you don't want to come down here. And he had found the church online. We'd never been to Saxtons River. We didn't know where Saxtons River was. It kind of didn't matter. It was that we had always been looking for a project like this. We had decided not to do a project like this. We were going to buy a finished, ready-to-go house.
Nothing to do. No projects.
No projects.
Upkeep.
Thus the uh-oh. Because he knew I would love it, and I did.
Yeah.
So we put in an offer and came and saw it the day after Thanksgiving 2020.
And then time went past, and it was all the way into March.
We came and we looked at the church, there's snow everywhere because it's March. We hadn't seen that yet. And I'm like, what have we done?
Yeah, it was
But
crazy.
we were still completely excited. I would say it was bigger than we expected when we got in it, because as you'll see, you've got this full top floor and then a matching size bottom floor. I mean,
Yeah, we were impressed with the size and the openness of the upstairs floor, so it hadn't been subdivided in any way. And it seemed structurally sound. Concrete slab floor with, you know, girders and stuff underneath it. A good canvas to start on. We had 1,000 ideas. But so, yeah, so we were instantly in love with it.
we're going to learn to make stained glass because the attic has leftover bits from making the front wall. So we are going to make a piece of stained glass for the side light. Jeff has a plan that this is going to be 4 separate paintings, 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. So now we have to commission ourselves to do artwork on the magic bathroom door that's curved to match the wall.
Yeah, and then I'm even imagining like fake, you know, painted fake metal strapping, maybe some leaves or something, just in general, just to camp it up a whole lot, because, you know.
But you want to look, he made his own hinge. It fits over the existing kick molding. It's an impressive piece of handiwork. So the bathtub was traded with another family here in Saxtons River. They wanted a woodshed and Jeff wanted a bathtub for me, and so they did a trade and he built them a woodshed and I got a beautiful bathtub. And then this, Jeff made a sink out of furniture that was my mom's, and this was given to me for my 16th birthday. So like I said, I got to move all the crazy things I could ever want. Jeff's making a fun little door here, and I made a bead curtain to go on it. The bead curtain was a good wintertime watch television by the wood stove activity.
An L, yeah.
It's a formal term I have learned.
Yeah, this is the L. The basic footprint of the church is like just rectangle. So here's the L. This is the vestry. It used to be where the priests would get dressed. This is the mechanism that controls the giant speakers that are up in the bell tower, so that when they would want to do bells or, you know, like time or wedding or whatever it was. All right, so these are the actual pipes, and then this whole room up there, you can actually go up there and climb into it, and there's all the whistles and a bunch of little horns. You can actually tune the organ, you know, adjusting how it sits, and it affects how it sounds. And
The mid-century modern aspect of this church made it much easier for me to get my head around it. I would always feel awkward being in someone else's church if they hadn't gone through the steps and we hadn't gone through the steps of.
Yeah, architecturally you
Agreed.
could tell, but it didn't seem very churchy when we got here.
Oh yeah, they had really disassembled
Yeah.
a lot. To move in, which we did, you know, with 2 friends, no professional movers or anything. When we moved in May of 2021, and luckily we had a good friend with us, and she would take things and just organize them in the pews. So all bathroom in one pews, all bedroom in the next pews, dishes in the next pew.
And I had taken apart the shop in Asheville that my studio, and before we could really start to do anything, we had to get to where we could use our tools and stuff like that, plug in the table saw and that sort of thing. There was no electricity for any of that. It was quite a lot like camping for a while. I mean, we barely had running water in a bathroom.
Yeah, when you say it's camping, the friend that came when she left, she, as a gift, sent us a camp shower. So we could put hot water in this camp shower and hang it out in the back and take a shower.
As far as the plumbing goes, there was the little kitchen downstairs, you'll see it. And there was a boys' room and a girls' room with a stall in each one and a little sink, and they were all totally
Terrible
decrepit.
condition.
I started right away tearing out the bathrooms and redoing the bathrooms. And so we had to sort of build the shower before we could take a shower, you know. And so we had to put in the electricity before we could put in the stove to cook food and stuff like that, because it was very much like they never anticipated kitchen appliances or shop tools or anything that would need, you know, a 220 circuit, for instance.
So when we first moved in, this was one big rectangle. That wall wasn't there. This was where the store had been, but it was also the stinkiest, dirtiest part of the building. It had wall-to-wall, like commercial grade carpet. In there, everywhere there was paneling. Behind the paneling was, you know, not the best grade of insulation. Just musty, nasty.
Mold fest.
Some bathrooms that hadn't been used. So first thing we did was get working bathroom, shower, and by the end of the summer, Jeff had put in laundry. We were working out of this kitchen, but we wouldn't stay down here or sit or anything. We would basically cook our meals, everything. We'd go upstairs where it was warm. But the whole first year goal was to get the wood stove in, which happened October.
It's getting more homey as it goes.
One of the things that I wanted to do was have this downstairs space be all kind of artsy, fun, eclectic, I guess is the word.
Sort of funky.
Yeah, so Jeff's pointing out the shower because one of the things that we really wanted to do was use things that we had, and we had tried to sell all of our samples from work, which is like plastic bits, clay bits, paint bits, and nobody would buy them at the yard sale we were having in Nashville. So we brought them up here and they've turned into our shower decoration. We tried to get some plumbers to come help us, and they came and they looked over the whole project and they were like, yep, you got great ideas, it's gonna be good, you got it. And they like left, no price, no anything. We were like, well, can you do the work? They're like, you don't need us. So Jeff actually ran the drain for the washer into where the water fountain used to be. And it's like if it was new construction, that wouldn't work. But they said as long as it drains, you're going to be fine. And you would make a much bigger mess having to try to dig a new drain in a building that has a poured concrete floor. So it's been working for 3 years, fingers crossed. This was our kitchen with pretty much exactly what's in it. We used a one-eye little cook stove and all electric, you know, appliances, electric frying pan and a Instapot and things like that. But we were able to buy this little refrigerator and make it for the first few weeks until we put a bigger refrigerator upstairs. Now this is going to be my clay studio. So the clay stuff has come out of storage. We don't have very much outdoor space. We've got a quarter acre with a giant church in it. And so we needed a shed. So we built the shed inside. So this is the mill door from my grandparents' property where I grew up. And then Jeff built me a little shed, just like everybody else's shed. Normally the lawnmower and everything is in here.
Welcome to the shop. This is where all the building of stuff gets done. This, you can see, is my big letter E that I've made, which is actually part of the landing for the stairs upstairs. So we have everything we need. Basically, we got the joiner here, we got the planer here, you got the chop saw, you got the drill press, vacuum, dust collection, exhaust, and then over there we have the kiln that works for all of the pottery. We have capabilities for welding. Don't have a specific welding place yet, but if I'm able to get rid of that Volkswagen van-sized oil-burning furnace in there, that room is going to become the welding shop.
This plan to move to Vermont, which we really didn't talk much about how determined Jeff was to move to Vermont. One of the things he said is, anything you want to take, we'll figure it out. You don't have to leave anything you want behind. And that has given us room to be absurd in the amount of stuff we have. Because something that came with Jeff's full shop used to be a whole separate building. Family furniture, art supplies, half-made quilts. If I thought I might want to finish it, he said I could bring it. So I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the idea of taking something and making it, granted, we're still at a pretty rudimentary level of carpentry over art, you know, and we're still building things that need to be built. But we're getting to the point slowly but surely where we'll start to sort of make an art project out of this or that, you know. And I'm really excited about that because I want it to be kind of wonderful and weird, you know. And the longer we're here, the better that's going to get. Well, you have to notice that it's a little bit airless. They didn't have a whole lot of expectations about the ventilation of the air movement in the building. At the end of the building, this is the southern wall down here, so we'll get really great light, solar gain in the window, especially if we get the nice, you know, insulated window done. But it'll also have side lights that are like casement windows, so the two sides of the window will open up like this. So, and if the loft area up here is going to be a bedroom, it's sort of a master bath. We're going to have a bathroom, a tiny shower, a little cubicle, all glass over in that corner. Outside of that, there'll be a countertop with like a coffee tea station, running water, that sort of thing. So we'll be able to sort of get out of bed, wander over here, get clean, get coffee, sit on the Romeo and Juliet balcony, and have our coffee and never have to come downstairs. So, you know, when it's the frozen tundra outside, we can stay up here as long as we want. Built-in cabinetry, and it's going to be as ergonomic as we can possibly make it. And it'll be like a lot of wood, so much wood that you're going to get tired of seeing wood.
Here, we were interviewed for a Vermont Public Radio story, and one of the points that they seemed surprised about is that of the 3 churches in Saxtons River, which is a relatively small community, none are still in operation, but all 3 have found other lives. So one is the Historical Society, one is the community center, and then this one is a home.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this alternative home tour. If you'd like to see more of this type of content, please be sure to leave a note in the comments below. And also let us know if you would like to revisit this home in a few years after some more of the art projects are completed.